Hey guys, it's Matt Fielder with MJF Guide Service giving you your July 8th fishing report for Table Rock Lake. Guys, the fishing is still hot. A lot of fun ways to catch them right now. Like we've talked about in the past weeks, right now the jig bite for me has still been the most consistent bite that we have on Table Rock, and it's really hot. Between the two trips that we had today, we caught roughly 50, 60 fish today. A majority of them were on a football jig. A half ounce and PB&J has been my best color. Also like a green pumpkin orange still. A bass whacker from Jewel has also been working really well for me. Just putting them in clients' hands, trying different colors at different times to see if, one's just much better than the other. But those are the three colors that we've been throwing the most out on my trips, and they've been smashing it. Today, they grouped up really, really well for me. I was up the James River today, caught a lot of fish. They stacked up on the points really well today. I don't know if it's because of the rain or what, but they've been stacking up. With them dropping that water down, been catching more largemouth out on some of those main lake points and on timber. That brings me to another point. So if you guys get around some timber, you might throw your little, Cast Prodigy out, either the 3-inch or the 4.1, or whatever your favorite swim bait is, whether it be, for me it's the Cast Prodigy, or like a Kitech, a 3.3, 2.8, 3.8, whatever your favorite is, and you might get one bite, but then you'll throw it out there again and they may not retrieve it. So what I've been doing a lot of times is picking up the slab spoon. I threw this one. It's called Hillbilly Special. It's just a white with some red on it. I also just like throwing plain white. And it seems to fire those fish up and pull them off that timber. And you're catching a few, but then you can follow it up with a swim bait right after you get them pulled off of whatever cover you're fishing. You do have to be kind of careful. You can get hung up sometimes, but it really activates that school that could be hanging off a timber. So just throw in there with the slab spoon. Another bait that I've been throwing at those same fish is a Flutter Spoon. Now you do have to be a little bit more careful because it does want to glide away from you when you throw it. So you do have to be careful throwing it around timber. You'll let it glide. Pick out a limb, throw at it, let it go under that limb, and then rip it back. And those fish will just come. They'll dive down to it, rip up, and they'll bite it. And I've been catching some really good ones doing that. Also been throwing the Flutter Spoon on points at some of those big schools. It seems to like reactivate them. So I'll be throwing that football jig out there and I'll catch, quite a few, and then they seem to slow down. They might have moved on the point a little bit, or you throw it out there a few casts and they don't bite it. I follow it up with the Flutter Spoon and get a few more bites, and then they may quit eating it. So I'll pick up a hair jig. This is a Shuttlecock Hair Jig. This one's just a standard white. I'll throw it out. It's a half ounce, 5/8 ounce. And what I've been doing is throwing it out, letting it go all the way to the bottom, and then burning it, stopping it, burning it, stopping it. So most of the fish on these points, if they're not in trees, are hugged to the bottom. So those are some really good ways to catch them. Another bait that's been working for me is this is an X Zone tube. This is Beetlejuice in color. I just tie it on a 3/8 ounce tube head. I'll cast it out as far as I can into that school, and I'll just drag it by them. Sometimes I am stroking it a little bit to get it to bounce off the bottom and go down. I can get some really good reaction strikes doing that. And another thing, you know, it kind of did slow down, but today the fish were a little bit deeper, so I was seeing them in that 22-foot range. So I picked up a 10XD and caught a few bass doing that. You know, it's kind of tough to do that sometimes on guide trips, but it is a way to catch some really nice bass and activate a school, or once they are fired up, to load the boat really, really quickly, guys. So fishing's still phenomenal out there. You know, if you just want to reel something in, another bait that I have thrown a little bit, this is the Tungsten Evo Jackhammer Chatterbait. So you can throw it out. I've got it in 1/2 ounce, so it gets down there, and then I just kind of, you know, just bang it almost like a wobble head off the rocks. I'll just point the rod tip straight down at the ground and just kind of try to grind that chatterbait into those rocks, and they've been coming up and eating it pretty good. So those are some baits that are working right now. The water level is dropping. You know, we're still in that upper 80s water temp, 86 to 88. You know, water levels 922.17 as of today, and it's been consistently dropping. So more and more fish are coming out of the bushes and starting to load up on some of these points, some of these channel swings, and more fish are getting to timber. So until next week, guys, get out there, get fishing, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.